In this lesson, we're going to be talking about some more common HTML tags, and the one that we're going to be talking about in this lesson is going to be ordered lists. So ordered lists are used very commonly. So in combination with CSS, you can do some really cool things with ordered lists. And an ordered list is, just as the name indicates, it's a list of a bunch of items. And the way that we write this code out, and if you notice here at the top, we have an unordered list, and then at the bottom we have what's called an ordered list. And so when we look at the code, all we're doing is, again, these opening and closing tags. So we've got our unordered list is just a UL and closed by UL. So ordered list is an OL, so ordered list. So it really does make sense. These acronyms do make sense. And UL is unordered list. And LI is list item. So these are all the items that are going to get listed within these ordered lists or unordered lists and ordered lists. And again, these are very commonplace within HTML code, and combined with CSS, you've got a lot of control with what you can do with these lists. And the reason that a lot of web developers are using these lists is because they're really easy to see, and also it gives you a lot of control with CSS and JavaScript when you work those in with these list items. And with ordered lists, you've got the ability to add different types. So as well with styling, which we're going to get into later as well, we can add an attribute of type, and we can just do type A, and that will allow us to change what these ordered list identifiers are. So here we just did a type A, so it's going to start A, B, C, D. We can also do lowercase, and we could also do these Roman numeral type. And so we can just refresh that. So there are some options with the ordered lists as well. And with unordered lists, you've got the ability to attach style. So this is the same for any attribute, and we're going to get into that in the next lesson, how to use style to really customize the look of your elements. But for now, we can see that when we add in the style, it actually adds this, makes our unordered list look like an ordered list. And we do have a few options here for style. So with Dreamweaver, I've got a bunch of options here in the drop down, and I can do something like a square as well. And when I go back out and refresh it, I can see that these unordered list now has these square type list indicators or list types. And additional to ordered lists, we want to talk about tables quickly. So tables used to be used quite a bit for styling and positioning different items and different content on web pages, and this was before CSS came along. So CSS has really changed how we do our HTML code, but it is important to understand that tables are still have their usefulness. And a basic table structure is that we've got our opening table, closing table tags. So again, those opening closings, we've got a TR, which is a table row. We've got a TH, which is a table header. And we've got a TD. So this one's a little bit harder to guess. So rows, headers, TD is table data. So these are essentially all the different cells. So if you had another bunch of another row here, and you'd have again these TDs, so these table datas. So again, this is a basic table structure, and you can really build out your tables. So the first row is going to have the headers, and when we go out to our browser, we can see that this is how our basic table is set up. And with adding styling and attributes, we're able to add quite a bit more into the table, how it's going to look. So if you want to add in a border, so the thing with tables is they do have their own attributes, and you can use styling as well. So by default, they do have their own attributes. So we can do table border, and this will add that border around these table items. So it's a little bit easier to see all the different cells that are available within the table. But for the most part, Mainly we're going to be using styling to control tables. So we're not going to be using a lot of these table attributes. And as you can see, when we do this drop down, we've got a background option, background color, a whole bunch of options for the table as well.